Alrighty, Juanitos, welcome back to Boom Jewelry Designs. We are approaching episode 100. Man, I watched that first episode and I'm telling you, it was not as finely tuned as these ones are. And geez, man, back then I was such a crazy wild Indian. I mean, I'm still a crazy wild Indian, but I used to be back then too. But we're here and we're gonna do something fun today. This is a little project that I have done several times with success, and I've always used sheet silver to do this design. And this design is sunflowers, guys. So I'm going to do a sunflower. It's springtime and it is sunflower season, and I have gotten kind of good at making these sunflowers, but probably I'm going to screw it up today since you guys are watching, and I am going to use these spoons, guys. I snipped off these ends here. And all right, guys, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with this. I'm going to roll it, and I'm going to let you guys watch with my Vivor roller. I've had my roller for about 4 months now, and gosh, I really enjoy it, man. It is not the best roller out there on the market. Everybody talks about Dunstan, and those are like $5,000 rollers. My roller was like $300, and it does everything that I need at this point in my jewelry dreams. But down the road, I'd like to get one of those Durstans, whatever the big ones are, the fancy ones, rich kid ones. But I'm going to show you guys how I use my Vivor and how that kind of works during this process too. But we're going to roll this out. But first, I'm going to nail this. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to look yet, but you guys will be along for the ride, friends. So welcome to the jewelry adventure. We are making sunflowers today. Let's go. All right, friends, we're going to give this a mild anneal, kind of a soft flame, and just get it kind of soft so I can roll it. And I don't know when they make these spoons if they work harden them in any way. I'm sure they probably do. Guys, thank you very much for all the people out there that are buying me coffees, buying stickers from my online store. In the description, you can buy Juanitosville stickers, mugs, t-shirts, I think t-shirts. Thank you. When you guys go out there and you guys do that, I really appreciate it. They say a nice glow, on this, a red glow. But I'm kind of gun shy when it comes to annealing, friends. Out there in the comments, does annealing cause fire stain if you get it too hot, or what? What degree? Oh, look how cool that looks. At what level does annealing cause fire stain, and how do we know when that time is? So in the comments, please, guys, if you guys know about annealing and fire stain, also known as fire scale, but I think fire stain and fire scale are two different things. I try not to anneal too hardcore because I'm kind of scared of fire stain, guys. It's been my nemesis. Fire scoff has helped. My boric acid denatured alcohol mix helps, but nothing I've determined has been 100% for me yet. But I don't know, maybe I don't have good torch control. We're gonna let that cool off, and then we're gonna take it over to the rolling mill and start rolling out. Okay, you cat lovers, we're right here, and these are the spoon pieces. And what I've learned is I have a hard time kind of getting them through my roller because the angle of them. So what I've learned to do is to smash a little bit. Okay, so here we go. We got to kind of smash down a little bit, and they are a little wonky, guys. They're going to be a little wonky. Don't let that bother you because it's going to get smoothed out on the roller. I'm very light with these rollers, guys, because they're not the most expensive rollers on the market. So I try to be kind to it. For $200 or $300, it wasn't 4,000 like the Durstans. Whoa, Johnny. My commitment issues make it so that I don't fully commit to it being right here. I only have one screw in it. Because I'm not sure if this is where I want it full time, but it seems like that's where it is. So might as well just fully commit and put all the screws in. Okay. We're getting there, guys. I'm not sure what the thickness of that is. I'm guessing 20 gauge. So that's what that looks like. We're going to go ahead and roll this one out. I'll get them both looking like this, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, guys, so I'm going to take you guys over. We're going to anneal this one more time, and then we're going to start designing. All right, guys, let's start letting that cool down, and then we'll break out the markers and start drawing. All right, Captain Crunchers, we're gonna go right here. Just a little flattenage. All right, guys, so this is the big one. This is the small one. I might be able to do them both with one, but let's look at our dividers. And what I do is I just kind of eyeball about the middle. So I'm going a little bigger right here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing about the halfway point. And that's about there. And I'm just kind of not dragging it, but I'm looking at how far out I'm getting. And I can go just a little bit more. I hold it at an angle like that. And I always screw up, but hopefully I don't screw up in front of you guys. Did I already screw up? Okay, now I got to remember where I put the point. That's where I was. I think I screwed up. Okay, let's just do it again. Now for this one, I'm going to, the only difference is you just make it a little shorter, a little skinnier. We're going to utilize this bigger part, but I don't want it to be too big. Utilize the material in a way that's going to be most effective or most efficient. Effectiveness and efficiency, the goal of any organization. I learned that in college. Whoa, geez. Dang, did I screw up in front of my friends? Yes, I did. Okay, look, it's all jacked. Okay, so I got a circle there, and I got a circle here. They're all jacked, but you guys will see. We don't sweat the small stuff. All right, guys, I got about, I think this is, in thickness-wise, I think it's about 22 gauge. I use a number 3 blade. And that's not 3/0, it's number 3. It's kind of it's a big blade, guys. And I think most people that know what they're doing would recommend a smaller blade. But always make sure your teeth of your blade are facing down towards your handle. If you use the saw in the traditional way that I use it, and that a lot of jewelers use it. Round enough for me. If you guys can eyeball that, to me that looks a lot like 20 gauge, guys. This is going to be have a nice little weight to it. Let's do the other one. All right, guys, we got our little coin looking things here. This is going to be the 2 levels of it, and these are the scraps that we have from it. And look, I can still use this for a bezel. Make some feathers out of these. You know, as artists, you're always looking for different things that you can do with your scraps. I am. Hey, just took a little practice, guys. The secret is at the bottom here. These are little V's. They're not together and then branch out. They're little V's. Your little V will make it so that they all want to kind of do. So little V, can you see that? Little V? Yeah, little V's. All right, guys, let's cut these out, and we'll make our jewelry dreams, come closer to true. Let's go. Okay, friends, for this sawing action, I'm going to use a 3/0 blade. 3/0 blade. A little bit, quite a bit lighter blade. But I'm going to have some maneuvering here to do, and I don't want to have a big old thick blade. When I have work to do, I'll use that thick blade so we can just get through the material and move on with our lives. But little things like this, I like to use my small saw, not my big new concept saw. This is a great saw, but that's my Cadillac. This is my little sports car. So I like to use this little guy. And by the way, friends, if you guys don't know, I do have my my silver dust catch platter down here, and I just put it between my feet, and then I kick it out of the way when I'm not using it. And my sawdust falls into the platter, guys, and sometimes pieces fall into it too, and then bounce out, and I have to find them. But I'm not the smartest guy in the world, so we just go with what we got. So when I'm done, it'll look like this, all sawed on those angles, and then I'm just going to go through and then do the other angles and do them all at the same time, so it's just kind of like a little system. On to the bigger one. All right, you wily winos out there, this is where we are. Now, you can use as much math as you want and precision as you want, but if you're a wily individual like myself, you're gonna be happy with this, guys. And you guys will see, this will turn out really cool, even though it's not, there's no perfection, no math involved. But maybe for you math deficits out there, you guys might feel this. But so at this point, guys, what I do is I just start spending some time and just sanding the edges, softening up the edges, maybe using my needle file. I really like this flat on one end and domed on the other end needle file. I use this file a lot because when you need a dome, you just kind of get it right in there. And when you need flat, you can always use your flat to really get those corners to round out a little bit. If you try to get around on the dome, it's going to slide off left and right. But if you get so you can just easily just flip it over. And it's a great tool, guy. These flat with the domes, you can know what inflation says these days, but I have backups, and I think $7, $5 to $7. I didn't mean Hobby Lobby. I meant home. What the heck is that place called? Import Freight. What's it called? Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight. Gosh, dang! It was on the tip of my tongue. Wow. I'm starting to feel like my dad. He's like, I'm looking for a word. I'm looking for words too, Pops. I'm looking for words too. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna spend some time working and softening this up, and I'll bring you back after that. But this is kind of boring, and it's really just stroke it, flip it, stroke it, and just really looking at it. Okay, Juanitosville, this is where we are. I softened with my file. I got it feeling pretty good. And I know it doesn't quite look like a sunflower yet, but it will. The next goal at this point, guys, is a technique that I learned from Melanie Klein. And I use this technique to create texture. And I just use one of these numbers, guys. I put the flat end against my finger so I know exactly where my teeth are. One right down the middle, if I recall. And then one a little bit to the angle, and then one to a little bit of the angle. And then you just do that all the way around. The cool thing about art, guys, is that when the eye sees something, it puts the pieces together. So you don't have to paint the whole picture. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's really the artistic eye. The human eye is making sense of what it's seeing. And it might not be what's intended by the artist, but you know, if you're a good artist, a lot of times it is. So let's get a zoom in close look at that texture I'm putting on those flowers there. I'm going to do that all the way around. Okay, friends, I have this done. And now I'm going to go over with the sandpaper and just kind of soften up the lining. Just the surface area, you want to soften it up a little bit. It just gives it more of a realistic look. All right, friends, so we're getting close. Now it's time to think about stones. So let me dig out a couple cool, I would like to do turquoise, but you know me, guys, I'm a turquoise fanatic. Okay, jewelry adventurers, look what I have, guys. This is a piece of Via Grove turquoise out of Colorado, San Luis Valley. Look at that, very high grade. This is not dyed. This is not stabilized. This is true organic Via Grove turquoise out of Colorado. Very rare Colorado turquoise mine. So, guys, this is not Arizona or Nevada or New Mexican turquoise. This is Colorado turquoise. Look at the color on that. If you guys can see the matrix in there. And this is what we're gonna go with, guys. It's gonna be a tight fit, friends. But I know we can do it. I believe in ourselves. We're gonna go for it. So I have my bezel wire here, and let's just get into this. It's 28, guys. So I'm gonna go 332, 28 gauge. Now, if you guys have seen me do my bezels, you guys know I like to, at the very end of it, I like to flatten it with my flat nose pliers, and I look at it and just, if there's any little, you're really examining your stone as you're wrapping your wire, you know, you really want to pay good attention. Now, probably the smart way to do, there's probably somebody out there in Juanitosville telling me, use your pliers. And yeah, go like this, and then just make a circle. Make your life easy on yourself. You don't have to be a bonehead about everything you do like I am. And then boom, right there, you have a pretty much kind of about where you want it to be. Put your seam about where you want it, and now it's already kind of bent for you, and you don't have to fight with it too much. As you can see, it sits in there recessed into that bezel pretty nicely. So we have some material to file off or to raise the stone. It's really up to you as the artist. Pull out my handy dandy blam, give it a little cut, or give it a little notch, a little mark where I want to cut it. If anything, I'll leave it a little long, so if I have to file, then I can. Boom. My low self-esteem made it too long, so I was like, let's just not screw up in front of our friends. So the line is straight up and down. Now I have something I can work with here. Okay guys, look at that small tiny bezel. It's met over like a flatness on the top. I learned that from Andrew Barry. And then I will put a little solder on the top of that so that it's not on the, and then let it seep down, heat it from the underneath. So let's do this bezel real quick. Okay friends, here we are. We're gonna go ahead and solder this. I'm gonna use a tiny piece of solder, so there's not a lot of solder mess. Let's give it a little drop of flux right on that seam. Boom. Let's use a little baby piece of solder right here. Cook off the flux. Baby piece of solder right on the joint. Now, if I have to add more, I will, but I hope I don't have to. Boom. It just went. Okay, boom, just like that, guys. I have done that where it takes me forever to do that correctly in front of you guys before, and sometimes it just works just like that. All right, you're gonna have to clean that off, but now it's on the outside and I have access to it to go ahead and clean that off on the outside. If it's on the inside, it has sometimes it makes a clump on the inside, and then it hardens around that seam on the bezel, and it makes it really hard for it to sit cleanly around the stone. Sometimes it makes a little gap where your seam is, because the solder bubbled or kind of collected underneath if you do it from underneath, and then it's really hard to kind of file that out and make it nice and flat and get it to have the same malleability as the bezel, if that makes sense. So I like to do my bezels on the outside so I have access to clean and smooth, and even as I set the bezel, I still have access to clean it on the outside and just make sure that it's nice and smooth, because you might get this looking perfect right now and I don't, but you might get, if you get it looking perfect and then you go to put it on your back plate, the solder has a tendency to like mess up all your cleaning job. It kind of moves. It can if you get it hot enough. All right, cowboys and Indians, we're right here. I have the little piece of silver, which I believe to be about 22 gauge. We're gonna go ahead and put this in the bezel as a riser. Now you could use copper, and if you're low on silver, then you can use copper. I was told that it doesn't really matter as long as you're not, I was told two things actually. I was told that you can stamp it 925 if it's all silver, but if it has any copper content, then you cannot stamp it 925. But I was also told that you can stamp it 925 as long, if there's a copper element to it, as long as you're not using the copper to deceptively increase the value of the piece. I'm not gonna use copper. I have in the past, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go right here. Let's put this in here. Oh, I think we do. Would you buy that for $1? Oh, I'd buy that for $1, guys. I'm looking all around it. Yeah. Okay. Put this, connect this with this first, guys, because I want my bezel to be the second to the last step. So what I'm going to do and you guys have probably seen me do this before, but we're going to go ahead and tin just the back of this medium solder. And actually, let's go hard solder. Be kind of generous just in this little spot right here. As soon as I see that solder want to melt, I'm going to go just give it a little circular. Boom. Just like that. Okay, we're going to let that cool off. I don't know if I want to quench it. Before you solder it on, what you want to do, guys, is, and I learned this. Ow, Johnny, don't touch that. I learned it the hard way. Is that hot? I'm constantly on the verge of burning myself all the time. Don't tell Millie. She thinks I'm in here going safety first. She's so precious. So guys, what you want to do is you want to angle the prongs, and I just did it as I was talking smack. Is you want to angle the prongs up just a little bit. Boop. This is the orientation that I'm going for. Because if these are not angled up, then they will solder to the back plate, and then you're never going to get the effect that we look for. Also, as well, guys, is you don't want to warp the flatness of the inside of the pod, because then your bezel's not going to sit nicely. Let's see. Did I get it? I did. Try not to overheat, friends. I'm trying to work on my heat control, guys. I really am. I want to be better. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's on there good. Okay, friends. We're just going to give it some circles. And we're going to do it on both sides. Okay, guys. I got you in frame. I put the flux in there, and then as this flux cooks off, I will press even, and then press down, and then here I'll press. And now I have kind of what I believe in, and then I grab some medium solder, friends. And actually, I like to turn my fire off so I can really concentrate. So I put a piece right there. And if you guys have seen my other videos, you guys know that I'm a huge fan and a proponent of putting a piece of solder right at the base of the join. If the solder wants to run, sometimes it wants to run and take the solder out of the bezel. Sometimes. Especially if you get your heat a little hotter than you want. And we're trying to be perfect, but sometimes your piece gets hot, guys, and there's not a huge difference between medium and hard solder melting points. If you're a pro, there's a big difference, but when you're a wily coyote like me, and you guys probably, there's not much of a difference. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna get this toasty. Okay, that ran. Taking the heat away and looking around over here. This is where I need to press down. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this kind of hot on this side. I'm gonna put my cold solder pick. My solder pick is kind of cold. I'm gonna put it on the joint so I don't mess with the joint, but I'm gonna heat it right here and press. Okay, this side's acting goofy. Come on, dude. So I'm looking at it on this side. Got a little gap right there. Guys, this is not my friend today. Okay, I got it back where I wanted, but now it's all jacked. Come on, man. This has never happened. I wonder if, I remember what I used to do. Take this off. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna redo it. I remember what I used to do. I totally spaced out. Come on. I'll show you what I do, and I forgot that I did this. Okay, friends, sorry I got a little mad there. I kind of screwed up. The technique that I remembered is I use one of my dapping little pieces, and I give it one of these numbers, guys. And this is just what you got to do, man, so that and make sure you use your mallet on your, because this is kind of a polished surface, or at least a smooth surface. And you just hammer it so that it's flat. Now it has a tendency to kind of warp a little bit, especially as you're pulling up those prongs. So you got to give yourself a chance to be successful. I did a new bezel here, friends, and I actually like this bezel a little bit better. And I did sand the bottom of it. Got a nice sand. Fitted on the stone. Got a pretty good little massage around the stone so that it's feeling like it wants to be where I want it to be. And I know this is the place I want down, and this is up. Let me give myself a little orientation, little black, that way I know that's where the top is. We're gonna try this again. Hopefully we'll have better results. Okay guys, round 2, we're gonna try this again. I hope that didn't waste I hope on the video it doesn't look like that was too much time. I try to work quick, and I will edit accordingly. I'm gonna try to work on underneath first and get toasty. That bezel still is not sitting flat. Not flat, flat, flat. Okay guys, I did press it. Now it's linked up again right here a little bit. That is not one of, I don't know. I guess we'll find out, but I need a break. Okay friends, after several errors of just trying to get this right, I finally got it. I put that piece of silver for the plate in there, and I realized that I don't think I can get it out. But yeah, we got a good solder seam all the way around. We got a good meniscus all the way around the whole thing. It is not overlapped. There's no gap there. It's all down. I got the whole thing hot, and then I just once it was hot, I just shifted it up about 2 millimeters, or maybe 1.5 millimeters, and it's right where I want it, guys. So I am feeling good about that. So now at this juncture, I think it's time for us to think about the bail. And I want the bail to come out the top right here. And because this is kind of a sunflower idea, I was thinking about maybe doing a sunflower bail, guys. Now this is an actual sunflower leaf. If you look at the lines on the leaf, it has the middle one that is pretty common on most leaves, but it has this other one that goes off to the side, and this one that also comes off to the side. And if you could look at the texture of those lines, I'm going to try to recreate at least those. It's going to go like this. Roll over. And then that's going to be where the chain goes through. And this is going to be like this. Is that dumb? If it's small, it's going to be quite a bit smaller. But I don't know if that's a cool idea, or if I should just do a different kind of bail. It'd be cool to do a leaf. Yeah, friends, I think I'm gonna try the leaf idea. I'm gonna use this piece here. I'm gonna cut this out and then mock it up before I do any stamping to it, and then we'll see what it looks like. All right, homies, this is what I cut out, guys, and I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at this, and I'm feeling like I can make my dreams come true right here, guys. The orientation isn't perfect with my boom. My boom should have been like at this angle, but at that time I didn't know. So right here, we're gonna go ahead and stamp this, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. I have this little homemade metal stamp that some of you have seen me use before. Sometimes I tape the metal down, but on this I'm just gonna go light. Let's sand that and see how good I did. Some solder right along here so that I can adhere it right back here. Oops, it's gonna be like this. And this is gonna fold over. And then I'll use my saw once it's kind of folded over to really get those grooves really looking nice. It's gonna take a little bit of work to get that, because I'm not an excellent stamper or line maker, but I think the point will be made. Not holding out, friends. We are going for the gusto. We are going to tin just the back of this. Run this. Nice and chill. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go just, I don't want any clumps. There we go. Let's look at it one more time. Boom. This is our orientation. We're gonna take this. Is that cool enough for me to touch? You know me, I like to play with the odds. Okay, we did spray the back of that. We're just gonna move right through this. I'm not worried about the bezel because it's sitting against the block. Just waiting for this top piece to kind of feel like it wants to be friends with the bottom. The two pieces want to be friends. Oh no, it's not. I wanted it to the other side. Well, we're not going to play with it. We're just going to do it again. Come on, I might have to do a little extra cleanup, but man, sometimes out here in these mean streets, friends. There we go. That was a little hairy, guys. A little hairy, not the most recommended, but I think we got it where we want it. We're gonna look at it real quick. Boom. Now what I'm going to do is just give it, before I give it much of a bend, I'm going to use my round pliers. I just want a little bit of an angle for my saw. All right, friends, so we got these lines a little bit more prominent, just like we were kind of hoping for. I look at it and see what we're working with, friends, but I think we're right there along the way. So yeah, keep leaning toward moving forward. Let's go. Okay, friends, this is where we are at this stage. I'm using this piece of spoon that I have to just kind of bring up the inside petals of the flower, because where the real action of this design is in the dimension. Just give each one of these a nice even pull up, and I can manipulate them later, get them just where I want them. Now with this part, also part of the same gauge as everything else of that spoon. Now this is the bail, and you never know how these are gonna go, guys. I don't like to do anything too fast because you never know, guys. You just never know, like. And then here, so I got that pokey part right in the middle, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little piece of solder right in there so that this is down. But guys, that is strong. That's my old style bezel that I used to do, and or bail that I used to do, this little rollover, but this time I did it with a leaf, and I think that looks really cool. It has the lines right here and then some lines right here, and it's just cool. It's just a cool piece of art, guys. This, you guys can kind of get the vision of what it's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and call that good because I know you guys have seen me. I'm going to make that back plate again. I'm going to set the stone, and then but first I'm going to polish it. So that's pretty much it. You guys will see the finished product. So thank you so much for hanging out on this adventure. I'm sorry my bezel skills on this piece was not up to par. I don't know if I'm rusty or if it's just not my day, guys. Sometimes you just have a good soldering day where your bezels are just going down not like beautifully, and some days you're having a day like I had today, and you just got to keep working. Oh, there's that piece. And I try not to like edit out too many of my mistakes, or edit out stuff that you guys can learn from, because even though I might look stupid, hopefully it'll make you look smart in the end. And that's what it's really all about, guys. I'll probably do some liver or sulfur on it, but you guys will see. I don't want to make this video too dang long. You guys got to make your dreams come true. You guys have to live your lives as well. So, and I understand that. So we're still making our dreams come true, guys. I will still be doing jewelry adventures as long as there's adventures to be had. I will be doing more videos of just tips and tricks and little ways of doing stuff to make your life a little easier, of which we implement in the jewelry adventures. But sometimes you just need to learn how to do one thing, and I'm going to try to make some videos of just doing that one thing, whatever it is. If I find a quick tip or an idea as I'm creating, I'll record it. Say, man, Juanitosville needs to watch this. They need to know this. They need to know this. And if you guys already know it, you do. But if you're new out there, then if you don't know it, you won't know it until you know it. And I'm not scared to share, friends. I'm not scared. So yeah, thanks for all the people that are supporting out there, and all the love that we're getting through the channel. My website is boomjewelrydesigns. I have all my creations over there, and my portfolio, and my gallery, and stuff that's for sale. And you guys feel free to go through and check out my website, even if it just gives you ideas for your website. So yeah. Other than that, man, I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, we're featured in Cowboys and Indians magazine. Not featured. We are as seen in Cowboys and Indians magazine, which is pretty cool. The Kevin Costner issue, if you have that issue, look in there, man. You'll see a big old thing right there. It says Boom Jewelry Designs. Man, we're worldwide, friends. We're making our dreams come true, and I couldn't do it without you guys. And being inspired to inspire you guys inspires me to make some really cool jewelry that is out there in the world, making the world a better, brighter place. So you know how it is, friends. I'll catch you guys later, friends. You know who it is. I'm Benny. I'm out. Peace.